Previously on Kombi Life, we purchased a 45-year-old VW bus that had been sitting in the Arizona desert and have spent the past few months getting it ready to drive around the world. We've overhauled everything from brakes to suspension, restored the frame and bodywork, and completely replaced the wiring harness and the seals. Our Kombi Boomerang is changing quickly, but in this episode, we're taking a huge leap forward as we meet our ultimate engine for the first time and test out exactly what it's capable of.
Our previous adventure from South America to Arctic Alaska taught us many things, but one thing above all. Driving a vintage van across the planet is not easy. In fact, without proper preparation, it can be borderline impossible. Over the previous 6-year adventure, I had the misfortune of being stranded in various beat-up garages across the Americas for a period of over 12 months of my life. Yep, it was as bad as it sounds. And during that time, I had the privilege of learning from many different mechanics of varying backgrounds and quality. These vehicles are built on 1950s technology. Yes, they are simple, and yes, they are relatively easy to work on, but they can also be massively underpowered, especially when you start loading up a vehicle for full-time living.
We're going through a construction zone at the moment and there's a pace car to dictate the pace to make sure that we don't speed, only as you can see, we can't actually keep up with the pace car.
When maintenance is neglected, bad parts installed, or with shoddy workmanship, these underpowered engines quickly become overworked, overheat, and die prematurely.
Engine rebuild number 6, this time Costa Rica.
And all of this is accelerated by rough roads and harsh environments. But that is exactly what we have facing us on this upcoming journey. We know that what we're attempting to do will be hard, and let's be honest, there will be failures, and more than our fair share of frustrations, no doubt. But this time, we're preparing the best way that we possibly can. If we're going to drive around the world with a vintage air-cooled engine, we will need to find the best engine builders on the planet.
Today is a really exciting day because we are on our way to get our new engine.
This is something I've been waiting for a very long time. I cannot wait to see what these guys have come up. Let's go and find out what is involved in building the ultimate air-cooled engine. Yes! Let's do it.
As we poured into the tiny town of Farmersville, California, we already knew that Seabury Performance was a big name and that they were great engine builders. But our definition of great was about to be completely redefined. Seabury Performance has a long history in this game, over 60 years in fact.
The shop started in the late 50s and it was known as Quads Buggies. And in 71, we started emphasizing on just performance products and getting them to the customers that were, seeing our ads in our first catalog that we produced.
Now a third generation company handed down from grandfather to father, and now run by son Rick and daughter Susie.
This is my bug that I have had since I was 16 years old. My father built it for me. About 6 years ago, my brother took it out of storage and actually had it restored, and now I'm driving it again every day.
This is a true family-run business, and it's clear to see the passion through the whole Seabury Performance team. The passion that has kept them at the top of their game and has also kept the customers coming back over the many years.
We have a vast knowledge of the Volkswagen engine and what works the best for certain customers, and we're we're a lot higher level than any other company that I know of.
Of course, as such a proud president, Rick would say that about CB Performance, but that's because he can say that. The thing is, if you ever see a high performance V-dub, there's a good chance that there's at least one part in it from CB Performance, and a quick look under the hood of the company reveals why that is. There is state-of-the-art high-tech engineering equipment in every corner, tasked specifically at creating the very best engine components possible. And they've also got a secret weapon.
My name's Patrick Downs. I'm the engine builder here at CB Performance.
Pat's a modest guy for such a legend in the industry. He's not just any old engine builder. What he didn't tell you is that he was 10 years old when he first learned to drive. At 13, he'd successfully built his first engine. By the time he'd reached driving age, he was teaching his driving instructor how the car worked. I mean, Pat was the type of kid who took his lawnmower apart so that he could cut grass faster. So it's not really surprising that he grew up to be one of the best engine builders in the world. A record-holding engine builder, in fact. And this is his record-holding race car. Yeah, look at this.
Oh my god, that's cool.
This is awesome.
I've never seen anything like it.
This is the fastest naturally aspirated Volkswagen in the world right now.
What?
Yeah.
You got a record for that?
He's got the
That's
world
amazing.
record.
What?
Pat's a world record holder. Our engine was built by a world record holder.
That's amazing.
Yeah, this is my passion.
Yeah, look at it. I've never seen anything like it.
Yeah,
Have you got footage of you driving it?
Yeah, it's all over YouTube. I don't enjoy so much driving it. I enjoy making it go fast.
Pat has built many performance engines over the years, and they sure are nice. But for our application for driving around the world, it wasn't brute power, maximum torque, or a record-breaking top speed that we were aiming for. It was longevity and reliability.
So we now had to choose between a Type 1 and a Type 4 air-cooled engine. Over the past couple of years, we've done a lot of research into which would be best for us. We spoke to every air-cooled motorhead that would listen, and opinions are divided. The Type 1 motor, which is what we had in our previous Kombi Capito, is smaller and available as standard up to 1600cc. That's not a lot for a heavy bus. This is the engine that you're likely to see in most vintage Volkswagens and was widely produced across the planet. Now, the Type 4 air-cooled engine, which is what we currently had in our bus Boomerang, is without question a stronger and more powerful engine. It's bigger too, up to 2000cc, but there is a huge downside to the Type 4. This engine wasn't widely available outside of North America, and limited availability of parts would be a huge problem for us, as we recently found out in Arizona.
Oh, it's been a nightmare. Yeah, Type 4, the problem with them is they didn't have as many of them on the planet as they have Type 1s. They're a really good system, but you need new parts and they're just not available.
So we are going with the Type 1 air-cooled engine, and luckily that is exactly what CB Performance are the #1 specialists in.
The aim for the engine design, really I tried to focus on an engine that was going to run cool and be strong. So although I wanted to build a bigger engine because I think you could use more power and torque, the best choice was to do the 1776.
We're going to be testing our new 1776 engine on the dyno to see exactly how much horsepower it can make. But first, we had a lot of work to do, and it was all hands on deck. Mike from Rancho Performance Transaxles had made the drive up from LA to be here for the installation. He'd already built us a transmission of our dreams. We were now upgrading to a stronger 091 transaxle, running Pelican torque biasing differentials to improve our off-road ability. But for Mike Herbert, providing the transmission wasn't enough. He wanted to be here to ensure the correct installation and that the entire gear changing linkage from front to back was serviced and replaced. We were sure glad to have his experience and knowledge on site. And after getting eyes on our failing old gearbox, we were doubly stoked that we'd have chosen Rancho. There is so much going on right now at the moment. There's Mike's here from Rancho. He's given us the transmission, delivered the transmission. We've taken the old transmission out and the guys have taken the old engine out. And another familiar face made an appearance too.
Bill, being the legend that he is, had lent us a motor down in Arizona when the one we purchased from him turned out to be no good. Now, he'd driven up with his sidekick Candy to collect his motor. Cheers, Bill.
Through here. Yeah, all this is going to be replaced.
With the engine bay ready, it's time to meet our new engine. But before we load it onto the dyno to see how it performs, just check out the level of detail that went into putting together our ultimate air-cooled engine.
The camshaft, it's the CB 2280 grind. So it makes good power. It idles well with a single throttle body. You're gonna go over 100,000 miles. It has to be a very non-aggressive profile. We used our dual weight flywheel, which is a little bit heavier in stock. Great for this heavy bus. Using the Los Panchito head of ours was a really good choice. It's a brand new head, made of all new tooling, designed around cooling. So
We're most concerned with keeping your engine cool. You're going to be going across deserts, and so this head has extra cooling fins, and it has ports that are designed to give you more flow and more torque, better airspeed, so it'll help that bus pull you through some sticky situations.
At this point, our core motor is assembled. We now have a precision-engineered performance long block. All that is left is to put on the bells and whistles. And this is where Boomerang's new engine really shines. Our new engine's in here. Come and have a look. This is the first time we're going to see it. Amazing. I can't wait to try this out.
Everyone here at Seabury Performance has been absolutely amazing. All the workers here have been so lovely and helpful. What's that? They're such nice people and they've done so much for us. Getting us that trailer for us to stay in while we've been here has been a godsend. It's been raining all week and we've been able to have a space to work and sleep and shower. They're just such a nice company that everyone is just, they're like family. I'm so lucky. These guys are amazing. Those of you with an eagle eye will have noticed that there is no carburetor on this engine. That's because the engine that Pat has built for us uses Seabury Performance's Gen 4 electronic fuel injection system. Yes, Boomerang's vintage engine is controlled by a computer.
Alrighty, let's put the brain in and we'll be good to go.
So why did we pick fuel injection over a carburetor? A carburetor is a very simple device. If something goes wrong, typically you can fix it on the side of the road. That's the beauty of a carburetor. What's not great about a carburetor is it doesn't compensate for altitude. If you get into hotter climates, it's going to run richer, versus colder climates, it's going to run leaner. It's going to run rich at elevation. You have no control over that, other than getting out and changing idle jet or a main jet.
Day 3. We're trying to fix the car. Still working on the carburetor. Still can't leave the town. Stuck on the side of the road. Running out of options.
With EFI, it's, especially the Gen 4, it's done automatically for you. Now, yes, it's a little scary. You've got a lot of electronic components. You're going to be fine.
Having the Gen 4 computer log exactly what is happening with the engine will give us precisely the information that we need to ensure that we are not overworking our bus and that we're running in optimum tuning at all times.
Our EFI software running here, this is our dyno software.
Did you get all that?
Sure.
I don't know what they're talking about.
The other advantage of EFI over carbs is that you get a lot more power.
Way more?
Yeah. Yeah, I made 96.
96 horsepower that time.
The heart of the engine, the reason why the engine can make 96 horsepower and the amount of torque it produced is really the cylinder head. The Ponchito head is unique. No one else in the VW industry has made a cylinder head like we have.
96 horsepower might not seem like a lot, especially when you consider all of the V8 trucks that are in the US, but let's put this into perspective. A stock 1600cc Type 1 air-cooled engine makes 55 horsepower. That's what we had when we crossed the Andes Mountains. The stronger, more powerful 2-litre Type 4 makes 69 horsepower. RCB Performance 1776cc Gen 4 makes 96 horsepower, and it does it without even breaking a sweat.
I had the engine on the dyno for probably 4 days, just making sure everything was good for you. We're one of the few companies that dyno every engine that leaves here.
We're over, hey, wait, we're over too far to the driver's.
Like Pat told us, every single one of the engines that he's built over the past 30 years has been tuned and tested in his lab. But that is a static environment. Pat wanted to check everything over and do some fine-tuning whilst we were on the move. So Pat, Mark and myself headed to find a steeper grade.
Test drive!
We're headed to a cooler environment, up to the snow line in the mountains surrounding Sequoia National Park.
So we've just driven up to Sequoia National Park to the snow line to get to a higher elevation so that we can do a proper test run of the Kombi. And let me tell you, this engine is running so efficiently. The head temperature hasn't budged since we were at sea level all the way up the mountain. I think we must be about 5,000 feet in elevation right now. The oil temperature hasn't budged at all. It's just running so smoothly and so efficiently. Oh, it's just giving me so much confidence for tackling the world's roads. I cannot wait to take this bus exploring.
Compared to a carbureted engine, I mean, my gosh, you have the world at your hands. I mean, you can see fuel pressure, throttle position, manifold air pressure, head temp, you can change your air-fuel ratio on the fly. Carburetors, you can't do that. Carburetors, you have to get out, change jets. You're guessing, basically, also. With the EFI, you can put in a different target air-fuel ratio and instantly see the change. So on the Gen 4, one of our big tuning aids that we offer here is remote assistance via the internet. So we can give you a program, which we've already loaded it on your computer, and you can call us from any place in the world as long as you have an internet connection, and we can go online with you and view your complete Gen 4 software. And we can actually tune your bus from here in my office. But I'd say 80% of issues we can solve remotely online, which, you know, hopefully we don't have to do that, but if we do, it's there.
So, test drive complete.
Yeah.
Honest opinion, Pat, please. What do you think?
I think you've got the perfect engine.
You built it, so you would say that.
No, I built what I thought was going to work, and I think our test drive showed that, you know, our oil temp never, got over 140 degrees?
Yeah, hardly moved.
Yeah, and we went up some really extreme grades. We went up to the snow line. We just pulled in the driveway, and I can put my hand on the engine. It's not even hot. So,
and this thing
good job.
Good job to you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a dream engine.
So we're looking forward to seeing how it does on its way to Australia. It's got a long journey ahead, but we're confident that it's going to make it.
I think, you know, this engine that we're looking at here gives this bus the best possible chance of making it on this journey. We are asking so much of this 45-year-old vehicle, but with this engine, I actually think we might be able to do it.
Yeah.
So I'm very excited.
Good.
Right now, it still brings tears to my eyes when I think that this engine is in the back of our bus. Before we met Seabury Performance, I'd experienced months of struggles and countless occasions where I was literally praying for this moment.
This is the nicest sounding engine I've ever heard. Oh my God, sounds amazing.
I can't really put into words how much this means to us and how grateful we are to everyone here at Seabury Performance. They really did go above and beyond and truly welcomed us into their family. They might have thought that we were crazy, and maybe we are, but they believe in us. They are fully behind our mission, and this expedition would not be possible without them. What a bunch of legends.
Now, Ben and I are out of time in the US. There is no more time to build the interior of the bus. We will be living like this until we can catch a boat out of North America. So it's time to take Boomerang's new engine on a proper test drive. A test drive of Kombi-like proportions. For the first time ever, we are pointing our compass east. Finally, we can start driving towards Australia. First up though, we are setting our sights on New York City. But that is a story for next time.